is a household name all around the world. The band's unique blend of rock and opera has earned Queen over 90 million total record sales among multiple chart-topping singles. But how did a small UK band take over the world and earn their spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Well, you're about to find out. Join us as we uncover the history of Queen. The members of Queen's glory days were Brian May, Freddie Mercury, Roger Taylor, and John Deacon. Let's take a look at each of the members to see their history and how they each came together to form one of the greatest bands of all time. Roger Taylor is the one and only drummer for Queen. Though he spent his concerts in the back of the stage, Taylor's drumming has always been the driving force behind the memorable singles in Queen's catalog. Roger was born on July 26, 1949 in Kingsland, Norfolk. There, he moved to Cornwall and started learning music by age 11. Roger's first instrument was the humble ukulele, and he would go on to play a variety of different instruments before finally settling on the drums. Roger was well on his way to becoming a musical entrepreneur at a young age. His first band started before he was even in high school, and although it would fall apart after just 2 shows, this early endeavor showcases Roger's talent and ambition. Roger entered college on a musical scholarship as he joined the Truro Cathedral Choir to sing. He also tried out the guitar before picking up the drums in 1961. In college, Roger ended up earning a degree in a completely different field. First, he went to study dentistry in 1967 from the London Hospital Medical College. But when that bored him, he went on to finish his Bachelor's of Science degree in biology at East London Polytechnic. In his college days, Roger joined Cornwall's most popular band, The Reaction, where he played the drums and sang, a rare combination in the rock world. He would let go of the gig and was gearing up to live the life of a biologist. But things changed when he met the next member of Queen, Brian May. Brian Harold May was born just a few years before Taylor on July 19, 1947, in Twickenham. Brian's parents were Ruth Irving and Harold May. His father worked for the Ministry of Aviation as a draftsman, giving young Brian a solid structure to his life that would help him succeed. Brian started school at Hanworth Road State Primary School, and, like Roger, he also got a scholarship thanks to his bright mind. Brian got a scholarship at just 11 years old to attend Hampton Grammar School. Also like Roger, Brian joined a band early in life. Brian was accompanied by vocalist and bassist Tim Staffel, and together, their band was called 1984, based on the dystopian science fiction novel by George Orwell. Brian was well on his way to achieving success early in life, with 3 GCE advanced levels in mathematics, applied mathematics, and physics. He would leverage his skills in math and physics when he went to college at Imperial College London, where he earned his BS in physics in 1968 and graduated with honors. His undergrad work was so impressive, he received an invitation from the knighted Sir Bernard Lovell to work at Jodrell Bank Observatory while working on his doctorate. However, around this time, the whisperings of Queen were beginning to start, and May didn't want to leave, so he stayed at the college for a time. Fast forward all the way to 2007, and May finally got his PhD in astrophysics from Imperial College London for finishing the work he started back in 1971. Next up, we have the quiet bassist John Deacon. Deacon was born on the 19th of August, 1951, in Leicester to parents Arthur Henry and Lillian Molly Deacon. His father worked at Norwich Union Insurance Company, and Deacon studied at Linden Junior School. When Deacon was 9, they moved to the college town of Oadby. There, he got the nickname Deeks or Deaky while attending Gartree High School. Like both his bandmates before him, Deacon was a wizard in school. He got interested in electronics and started building and modifying electronics at home. He combined his tinkering side with his fledgling musical hobby by rigging his family's reel-to-reel tape deck to record music from the radio, mostly soul music. At age 14, Deacon got together with some classmates at school to form his first band, The Opposition. They were mostly a cover band, and John would play rhythm guitar that he bought using money borrowed from the band's founder, Richard Young. A year later, he switched to bass and found his calling. Deacon also helped advertise the band that had its ups and downs. Their lineup would change, and the name would also change a few times, though Deacon would end up leaving after 4 years in 1969 to study electronics at Beauchamp Grammar School in Oadby, and then later he would study electronics at Chelsea College in London. In college, Deacon actually saw Brian May and a few other future superstars performing a concert, but he wasn't impressed. So he went on to make his own band called Deacon that had only one live performance at the Chelsea College. Next up, we have the famous Freddie Mercury. Freddie started life as Farrokh Bulsara. His early life was wild. He was born in Zanzibar, then he moved to India. He went to a boarding school there and boxed for fun, and also played table tennis. His family practiced Zoroastrianism, but his school was Catholic, in a country that practices Hinduism. These multicultural and eclectic worldviews helped shape Freddie into the legend he would become. In these early days, Farrokh got the nickname Freddie that stuck with him. Freddie and his family would end up leaving India and Zanzibar to escape a brutal revolution. Thanks to his dad's work at the British Colonial Office, the family was able to immigrate to the UK, where Freddie would study art at Isleworth Polytechnic in West London before studying graphic art and design at Ealing Art College. Freddie got his degree in graphic design in 1969, which would come in handy later. There's been a lot of dates mentioned, but if you're sharp, you'll notice that although all four members of Queen started in different places, by the time Freddie finished his degree, all four stars were in the same area at the same time. Freddie got a job working in Kensington Market with his friend Roger Taylor. That's right, the seeds of Queen were planted well before they formed the band. Roger and Freddie lived together for a time and sold secondhand clothes while Freddie sung for small-time local bands. Freddie was still struggling at the time, so he got a job working at Heathrow Airport. A year later, Freddie joined the band Ibex from Liverpool. Ibex played blues rock, and shortly after the band renamed themselves Wreckage. All the while, Freddie lived in an apartment above a pub near Penny Lane in the Mossley Hill district. Freddie split with Wreckage and joined Sour Milk Sea in Oxford. But that band would also disband soon after he joined. But while all this was happening, Roger was busy with his new friend, Brian May. A year after Roger finished schooling, he met May, who had formed a band called Smile. Smile would do pretty well, taking off with a single in the US, but before that, there's some history behind Smile too. May started Smile with Tim Staffel, who sang and played bass, and Chris Smith on keyboard, while May rocked out on the guitar he built with his father. But the band wasn't complete, so Brian put up an ad on the board at his college that read the group was looking for a Mitch Mitchell, Ginger Baker type drummer. Roger Taylor answered the call. Smith would leave the band right before Smile had an important venue at the Royal Albert Hall alongside the band Free and the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. Smile's vocalist Tim Staffel attended a different college from Roger and Brian. He went to Ealing Art College, where he met none other than Freddie Mercury. Freddie would join his friend Tim, and he became a fan of Smile. He asked Brian if he could join as the singer, but May didn't think Tim would give up his lead role. However, in 1970, Staffel left Smile to pursue his interest in soul and R&B with his band Humpy Bong, that he formed with Colin Peterson, who formerly drummed for the Bee Gees. Sure enough, after Tim left, Roger and Brian accepted Freddie's application, and 3 of the Titans of Queen were in place. Since Tim also played bass, they needed another member, so Smile recruited Roger's friend Mike Gross. This lineup played their first concert on June 27, 1970. Shortly after, Freddie suggested they'd change their name to Queen, saying, "It's wonderful, dear. People will love it." By July, the band was playing songs that would end up on their first album, along with some covers to win over the crowds. During a show in London, producer John Anthony approached the band and expressed how good he thought they sounded. He thought they needed a new bassist, though. In a somewhat sad turn of events, Mike Gross left shortly thereafter and was replaced with Barry Mitchell. The young Queen, still not satisfied with their bass player, and switched to Doug Bogie in 1971. But after just 2 shows with the band, Doug would need to look for another band because a friend of Taylor and May introduced them to the man that would complete the lineup. Taylor and May went to a disco where they were introduced to none other than John Deacon. They liked that John was younger and quieter than the rest of the crew. They thought it would help balance out the group's energy. Deacon played his first gig with Queen at the College of Estate Management in Kensington in June of that year, and Queen was born. If you liked the video and want to see more, click that like button and subscribe to catch the next video, and we'll see you next time.